Hi everyone, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we are able to hear you.
Thank you. Thanks for the confirmation. Guys, give me 3 more minutes. We'll start by 9:45.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. Ramakrishna, Naveen, and Suresh, let me. Yeah, please don't mind. So, though we are getting into SQL, but I'm coming back to the same Excel screen. I have few basic questions, guys. Generally ask the same question to every SQL batch. I'm starting the same thing here. Yeah, let me mention a couple of words here. The first word, what I'm going to use is table. Second word is database. And third one is server. Can somebody help me to understand these three words? Because when I first learned SQL, I don't know what is the exact meaning of each and every word. It was very confusing for me. So I'm trying to understand what is the meaning of table and what is the meaning of database and what is the meaning of server. Can anybody help me?
Table is a combination of rows and columns,
Okay. So
and,
combination of rows and columns. Absolutely, sir.
and the database is a combination of segregated data. That means it's a
Combination of segregated,
data in the form of tables.
absolutely, in the form of tables. Okay.
Server is kind of storage, you can say, where the data is stored.
Where the data is stored.
Yeah.
So for a quick reference, what I've done, I just mentioned it as storage here.
Okay.
Yep. I think it makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, when you are a combination of segregated data in the form of tables, how database is different from a server? And first of all, whenever we talk about the scary word data, why do you always come back to tables? What is the connection between data and table?
Data means like whatever the data it is, it may be what's it called segregated or non-segregated. You can call it as data.
What do you mean by segregated and what do you mean by
Means
non-segregated?
arranging in a proper manner, like
Absolutely.
aggregated or
True. So whenever we talk about data, we have two important things. So for me, these are quite important, guys. First one is how effectively you store your data, right? So this is very, very important. How effectively you store your data. So sorry. Then we have one more very important thing, that is retrieval. If you want to search for something, yeah, then how do you effectively search for it? The best example, for example, let's say everybody might have studied textbooks. Yeah. Now, textbook is a form of storage only. I hope everyone agrees.
Yes.
But if you want to search for a specific information, is it so easy like a computer? It's not, right? So you are storing data, but if you want to retrieve it, you need to spend some time. But we don't have that time now. We want to make it very quick. So now that's the reason I focus on two things. One is, yeah, absolutely, you need to store data in a very structured format. And second thing, whenever you want to retrieve it, whenever you're looking for a particular information, you need to get it very quickly. That's very important. So that's the reason what we are doing is, whenever we are trying to store data, we store it in a structured format. Now you would ask me, what is the structured format? For example, let's say we have like 4 people in the room. Now I want to connect your details. If I want to connect your details, how should I capture your details? Or how do I capture your details? Can I ask you to enter your details here? Yeah.
Yeah.
But here, what do we do? When I want to capture your details, first what I do, I keep a column called serial number.
Yes.
Then I index each and every data. Am I correct? We assign one number here. Then what will be the next column? Name, absolutely. Then, sorry, education qualification. Let me mention this as EQ because I'm very lazy fellow. I'm going with shortcut keys. So I mentioned this as EQ, education qualification. Anything else? So we need your mobile number. Absolutely. So I enter mobile number here. Then I take your mail ID. Then if required, I take your address. Now what I do, if I want to capture your details, first I keep these headings. Under the headings, we store the respective data. Am I correct? So I enter name here. For example, let's say Excel. Yeah. Then I enter another person mobile number here. Is this okay? Absolutely not, right? So here, when you are trying to store the data, we are trying to store it in a structured format. That is the reason we keep something here. We call them as headers. Please remember this word, guys. We have headers. Under the headers, we keep the respective data. So now we are storing the data in a structured form. Why? Because if I want to refer name, I simply come to name column. I refer name column for anybody's name. Then if I want to know the respective phone number for that particular person, I go to that particular person and I search for the phone number. So here I'm storing it in an effective manner and I'm retrieving it in a very effective manner. Am I correct? So whenever you want to store data, like our friend mentioned, combination of rows and columns, that is nothing but your table. Table format is a structured format where we store our data. Are we good with this? Yeah. Now I'll go with very simple word here, guys. So I would mention this as table as collection of data. Hope it makes sense. Okay. So whenever we say table, it's a collection of data. Yeah. Then I have a stupid question here. I think everybody knows X-ray. If somebody meets with an accident, generally we take X-ray. Yeah. Whether to find out is there any fracture or not. X-ray, can we convert it into table format? Let me repeat my question. I have X-ray. Can I convert that X-ray into table format? No, right? Obviously, it's an image. So can we store this data in table format? Absolutely no. Yeah. So we will come back to this point again, guys, after some time. So now, whenever we say table, basically whenever we have some text data or number related data, all these things, we try to store it in a table format. Yeah. Then let's come to database. Collection of tables I consider as database. So whenever we say database, basically what we are doing, we are storing the entire data in tables. All these tables are stored in database. Now, all these databases are stored in server. Am I clear? Any questions? So this is how we have the terminology, guys. When you say server, every company will have a server. For example, let's say I'm working with State Bank of India. SBI will have a server. This server contains different databases. And these databases contains different tables. And these tables contain whatever the information or data we are trying to store. This is how we have the hierarchies. Now, if I want to go to this data, first I need to connect to the server. I'll connect to the server. From the server, I go to the respective database. From the respective database, I go to a particular table. Are we good? Any questions? No? Okay. Then I have one more question here. What is the meaning of SQL and what is the meaning of SQL Server? Yes, sir. Sir, I don't want the full form. That is a full form, what you said. I want the meaning. Literally, I want the meaning. The reason why I come from non-technical background. I'm not BTech. So I studied BSc, then I did my MBA. I'm no way connected with technology. So for me, I want meaning of each and every word, not the full form. Yes, what our friend said is absolutely correct. Structured query language. But what is the meaning of it? And why do we use it? What is the difference between SQL and SQL Server? Yeah, I'll tell this story to every batch. In 2014, when I decided to learn SQL, I went to a couple of institutes in Amirpet. Then the moment I approached the front office, they asked me, what are you trying to learn? Is it SQL or is it SQL Server? First of all, I don't know the difference. In reverse, they used to ask me the question, what are you trying to learn? Which one I should answer? Same question. Are you guys here to learn SQL or are you guys here to learn SQL Server? Too much confusing? Yes, guys. SQL or SQL Server? SQL. Okay. Why SQL, ma'am? Yeah. Let's come here. Now, we mentioned that we have a server here. Now, for example, let's say I want to retrieve data from a particular table. So this is how we write a query. I'm just showing you one sample example here. Select all from customers table. Yeah. Now, this is a query. We call this as a query. Now, if you see this query, is it English or any other language? It's English only, right? Now, this is my question. If you are writing this in English, how your laptop is able to understand your query and how is it able to get the data? So now we have a query here. So now I'll repeat my question. You're writing this query in English. So now, first question, why are we starting with select? We will get it out, right? So then what is the meaning of this word? We are using a star here or asterisk. And why are we using this? And why are we writing from here? So because here, what we are doing, we are following a particular structure. So the moment you follow particular structure here, and what you are trying to do is you are using a language here. So now the meaning of SQL is structured query language. Now, what do we do this? Using this language, we communicate with database. So how do you communicate? First, you connect to server. Then you connect to a particular database. From there, you communicate with a particular database. Now, using this, either you can store data or you can retrieve data or you can modify the data what you stored in these tables. So wherever we say SQL, it is just simply a language. Please remember this. Am I clear? Then let's come here. We have SQL Server. SQL Server is a storage application which is provided by Microsoft. So basically, this is a server application which is provided by Microsoft. The name of the application is SQL Server. Microsoft SQL Server. We have few other companies wherein even Oracle does the same thing. We call that as Oracle Server. Yeah, we have MySQL Server. All these are different applications. So based on the server application, what we are using, so we have different languages. Even in SQL, we have different variants, guys. For example, let's say I go with Telugu. The Telugu which is spoken in Telangana and which is spoken in Andhra is totally different. Am I correct? Hope everyone agrees to that. But it is Telugu only. But the language is a bit different. We have some word differences in both languages. The same way, in SQL also, we have T-SQL, we have PLSQL, we have MySQL. Yeah, now you would ask me, what is the difference? So based on your server, so we use the respective language here. So in coming sessions, what we are going to do is we are going to discuss T-SQL. We are going to learn T-SQL and we are going to learn how to work with SQL Server. Am I clear with this? Yeah. Now, so here we will focus on T-SQL only, guys. But it doesn't mean that if you learn only one SQL variant, you can work with only that. No. If you learn any type of SQL, you can work with all other SQL languages. For example, let's say there are certain commands which are commonly used in T-SQL and MySQL. But there are certain commands which are bit different. Some keyword differences we have. But I would say 70% is common in all the languages. Remaining like 25 to 30%, we have difference. Those differences you guys must learn if you want to get it, if you want to learn, or if you want to work with any other type of SQL. Am I clear? Online participants, any questions?
Kiran,
Yeah.
what is T in TSQL?
T stands for Transact SQL, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, we will discuss that. Transact.
Come again.
Yeah,
Can you
I
please
just
repeat that word?
Transact SQL.
Transaction. Okay.
So using this SQL, we will communicate with MS SQL Server. Microsoft SQL Server. Are we good with this? Okay. Now, connected to this, let me ask two more words. What is the difference between database and cloud? Because this is a common word which is being used. And if you come to Ameerpet, you see so many words like Azure, AWS, Google Cloud Platform. You see so many things. Now, I'm trying to understand the difference between database and cloud. Can somebody help me? Because most of these days, most of the people have this confusion. That is the reason I'm asking this question. No? Any idea, man? No? Okay. So let's come here. For example, let's say I own a small restaurant. Yeah. Now these days, most of the restaurants are being operated either with the Swiggy or Zomato. Yeah. And they are having their own application also. Now, for example, let's say I want to store my customers' data and I want to store my inventory and I want to store my employee details. Can you guys help me? Where do I store all these details? And my transactions, very, very important. See, if you take a small business, these are quite common details what we need to have. So I have these 4 pieces of information. One is my customer's details, and another one is inventory, and third one is my employee details, and fourth one is transaction. Can you guys suggest me a way where can I store this?
Depending upon the size of the data, maybe you can store it in Excel, or the volume is large, you can opt for the database.
Upload to database.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's come here. What our friend said is absolutely correct. So I can store this data in Excel. But the problem is, whoever access the computer, they can simply open the Excel file and they can see the data. Quite easy, right? If I store all my transactions data, for example, let's say you stored your bank statement in Excel format. Accidentally, I got your laptop. Can I open and see all your transactions? Absolutely, right? Now, where is the data security? Biggest concern. But instead of this, if you create an interface where it will ask for a username and a password, if you give the password and username, then only you will log in, then you will be able to see it. Is it secure or Excel is secure?
Even we can do the same in Excel also, right?
But it is password protected, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if you forget the password?
Even the user interface also the similar question, right? So if we forget the password,
Yeah, but we have an option to reset
okay.
because we have that mechanism to reset. But in Excel, do you have a mechanism to reset, sir?
Okay.
We don't have. Absolutely, right? And if you use Excel, I mean, ethically and legally, you should not break the password. But there are so many tools where it can break the password. So Excel is not secure. That is the reason we are going for a dedicated storage space here. When I say dedicated storage space, basically what do? We depend on some applications where it can store the data. Yeah, these applications are nothing but your servers. Yeah, so we have seen in especially movies, when a hero or heroine, they want to do something, they go to a specific room and they unplug all the wires with computers. Yeah, so basically these servers are nothing but high configurations. So we keep like 100 TB hard disks or high configuration systems and we store the whole information here. But I own a small restaurant here. So can I maintain my server on my own? Is it possible? Very costly, right? So that is the reason. Now what I'm doing, I'm taking this storage space for rent from someone. That someone is nothing but Microsoft is providing this service and Amazon is providing this service and Google is providing this service. So if it is provided by Microsoft, we call this as Azure. And if it is provided by Amazon, we call this as AWS, Amazon Web Services. And we have Google Cloud. Now what we are doing, we are taking space from these companies and we are storing all our information. The reason why, if I want to have server on my own, it is very, very costly. I need to have one server administrator. And you might have seen some rooms saying like restricted is, sorry, entry is restricted, server room. They are highly chilled rooms. Now you want to maintain your server. This is not easy. So now that's the reason what we are doing. We are taking the storage space from different companies and we are using. If you maintain on your own, we call that as database guys or server. But now you are taking it from different companies and you are using it. So you take it from somebody and you use it. We call them as cloud. Okay. Now you might be thinking how SQL is connected. By writing this SQL queries, you can extract the data from a database or you can extract data from a cloud. Everyone is familiar with Google Drive. Why are you guys using Google Drive? You can store all your photos in your phone, but you are not doing that. You are uploading your photos to Google Drive. Why? You want to store more photos, first thing. Second thing, for example, let's say you have a problem with your phone. Can you get your photos back? If you store it into Google Cloud, then you can get it back. Else you can't get it back. Am I correct? So that's the reason we are trying to keep the information in a secured place. The secured places are nothing but your databases, nothing but servers and cloud. Am I clear? Now, why these days so much importance for SQL? Because whole information is stored in database or a cloud. When you store it, you must know how to get it back. That's nothing but retrieval. So whenever you want to retrieve it, you need to follow some procedures. So now using this SQL, what you guys are going to do is you will learn how to extract the data effectively. So that's what we are going to do with SQL. So that's what we call as query. Now using SQL, what do? You write certain commands. Those commands we call as queries. Using these queries, we will store data, we will retrieve data, we will modify data. Any questions? No? Are we good? Okay. Now let's come here. So I'm going to share a couple of files, guys. First file, I'll share instructions file related to two things. One is, first you need to install SQL Server in your laptop or in your desktop. Second thing, you need to install SSMS. Any idea what is this SSMS? Anybody knows full form? No? Okay. SSMS stands for SQL Server Management Studio. And by now, you understand that SQL Server is a service provided by Microsoft. Now, what is this SSMS and why are we using this? Anyone has idea? Is there any guess? Data science? No? No? Okay. You have written some code, right? Where did you write your code? Which application you used to write your code? So let's go back here. I write this query, again, same question. So now if you see this, is it a simple English or complicated English? Quite simple English. Now, the moment you write something here, how your machine is able to understand your English, guys? Autofill. What do you mean by autofill, sir? We are not filling anything here. Am I clear? So now, if I write this query, what I can do is I can retrieve the data from customer's table. But how the computer is able to understand your English query? Any idea? Should I repeat my question, guys? Yeah, that's the reason I said I'll be asking too many basic questions. No? What is the language your computer understands, guys? Sorry? English? Does it understand English? Yeah, absolutely no. Computer reads everything in binary language.
Numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you see? So here, everything will be converted into 0, 1 language. This is what we call as binary language. You guys might have heard about it. Now, the moment you write your
Yeah.
query,
Yes.
what happens? It will be translated into binary language. Then your machine will understand whatever the activity you're doing, and based on that, it will respond. Now, this is where I have my question. Who is going to convert your English query into binary language? Are you doing this? No, because you're writing your query in English. Now, this should be translated. Now, for that, we need one mediator between you and your laptop. That mediator is nothing but your SSL. Yeah, if I speak in technical language, we call this as IDE. Anyone has idea what is the meaning of IDE? No? Okay. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Now, whatever you perform in this IDE, that will be translated into machine language. And the moment machine understood your language, it will respond as per your activity. So now SSMS is called as IDE. Using this IDE, we are going to write all our queries in SSMS, guys. Then based on that, you will work with your server. It could be storing the data. It could be modifying the data. It could be retrieving the data. All your queries will be written in IDE. Every sequence, every server, guys, has its own IDE. Yeah. So if it is provided by Microsoft, we call that as SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. If you are working with MySQL Server, you need to install the IDE MySQL Workbench. Yeah, using MySQL Workbench, you interact with MySQL Server. The same way, now I'm trying to interact with SQL Server. So what you guys need to do is, you need to install SSMS, SQL Server Management Studio. But you would ask me, where do I get it? Just go to Microsoft website, or I'll provide the instruction file. So now let's come here. If you say SQL Server download, you can see this here, guys. Can you see Microsoft SQL Server? You need to download and install this. This is one activity you have to do. But before coming here, we need to know system requirements. You must have SSD laptop, no HDD, guys. Okay, we need SSD laptop, and the minimum RAM size should be 4 GB minimum. If you have 8 GB RAM, that's quite good. If you don't have 8 GB, still you can manage with 4 GB, but 4 GB, it will be very slow. Then don't go with old processor, guys. Mostly, I think everyone is using Intel processor. Yeah, in that case, prefer to use i3 latest version or i5 or i7. So system requirements, these are the system requirements what we have. Now you would ask me, why do I need it? Yeah, I just mentioned that when a company wants to manage the server, they use high configuration system. But are we using high configuration system? It's just a personal laptop. Am I correct? So now when you are using server, what you are doing, you are creating a lot of pressure on your laptop. So that is the reason, make sure that you have SSD laptop with i3 latest processor or i5 or i7, and minimum RAM should be 4 GB. If you have less configuration to this, don't install. My sincere advice. Okay. So once you complete your server, then you need to install SSMS. So using this SSMS, now what we do, we work with this. So my sincere request to everyone, before attending tomorrow's session, make sure that you complete the installation process of SQL Server and SSMS. For that, what we are going to do is, we will share one instructions file in the group, guys. One is called SQL Server Setup. Second one is called SQL Server Client Setup. We have the instructions here, but instructions are compiled based on the old version. Just follow the instructions and you can complete the installation process. If anyone has any issues, do let me. Are we good? Any questions? Can I move on? Okay. I'll share it in the WhatsApp group, guys. Then let me ask one more word here. What is this, guys? Anyone has idea? What is DBMS and what is RDBMS?
DBMS stands for Database Management Server. RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management Server.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. What is the difference between both of them? What is the difference between both of them? This is a must-know concept, because if you don't know this concept, you can't understand the database language. Any guess? Okay. Now let's come here. I just mentioned that if I want to collect your details, I'll create a small table. Where is this? Yeah. I'll create a small table like this and I'll store it. What if I have 10 or 15 tables like this? I need one dedicated space to store all these files. That's nothing but your DBMS, database management system. Okay. I just mentioned one more thing, that let's say I have a restaurant and this is customers table and this is inventory table and this is employee table, details table, and this is transactions table. Now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to store the details of or the data of four tables. Now you can't store them individually. You need to create a connection from one table to another table. That is nothing but relational database management system. Yeah. So here, let's come back here. We have DBMS and we have RDBMS. DBMS stands for Database Management System and RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. Why do we need it? You can't store the data like individual tables. You need to establish a relationship from one table to another table. If you establish the relationship, that is called as RDBMS. But if you want to call any DBMS as RDBMS, it needs to follow certain rules. Yeah, we have 13 rules here, guys. So we listed out all the rules here. All those rules, all these rules are compiled by a person called EF Card. The name of the person is EF Card. So if any DBMS follow these 13 rules, then we call that as RDBMS, guys. Even I'll share this file also in the WhatsApp group. Please go through this document. Are we good? Yeah, so let's come here. First, I'll go with one of the important points here. Can you see the first point? Yeah, what is it saying? Relational databases should store data in the form of relations. Tables are relations in relational database management system. Be it any user-defined data or metadata, it is important to store the value as an entity in the table sense. So same like earlier what we discussed, we are going to store tables of information. But you establish a relation between one table to another table. Then let's come back here. Any relational database management system that is propounded to the RDBMS as advocated to be RDBMS should be able to manage the stored data in its entirely through its relational capabilities. Sorry, there is a typo here. Yeah. So you need to create a relationship based on the relation capabilities. You work with different tables. Now, let me show you. Yeah. Now, if you come here, this is what I'm referring, guys. Can you see the name here? It is saying SQL Server 16.0. Yeah, this is my server. In this server, we have an object called databases here. I'll come back to this. So if you come to databases, these are the different databases what I have here. And these databases, for example, let me get into this employee database. In this, can you see these tables? Now, if you come to tables, this is where we stored all our information. Can you see this dbo.department and dbo.emp_backup and dbo.employee? All these are the different tables what we have. Now, if I go in reverse order, in a table, I stored my information. Where is this table? It's in a database. And where is this database? It's in a server. So this is the process flow what we have is. We have a server. In a server, we have a database. And in a database, we have a data. Now, this is what I'm referring here. I'll explain all these things tomorrow. Don't worry about this. Now here, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to write a query. Now, if I execute this query, this will show me what is the data stored in this. Can you see this? How many rows we have in this table? Can you see the number here? 19 rows. So we stored 19 employees data in this table. And this is what I meant by header. Can you see this? We have like employee ID, employee name, we have job, department ID, salary, date of joining, then reporting manager ID. Then we have some column here, then we have gender. So these are the columns and these are the rows what we stored in this table. Yeah. So we will understand why are we starting with select and what is the meaning of this star and why are you saying from and what is the meaning of this. Yeah, we will understand all these things as part of our course. Are we good? Yeah, online participants, any questions? Should I repeat anything? Everyone is very silent. Can I assume as we don't have any questions? Yeah. No? Yeah, then two things. I mean, we have two possibilities. Either you understood everything or you didn't understand anything. What should we consider? Am I clear so far? Or is it like a bouncer? Yes, ma'am.
You are clear. You are clear, Kevin.
Thank you. You're saying something, ma'am? Pretty clear. Okay. Sorry, you have to bear with me. Okay. So you need to bear with me for today and tomorrow. Even tomorrow also we are going to discuss discuss very basic concepts. Then we'll get into queries. Yeah. But before that, I want to set the expectations, saying like, why do we need this? What do we call this? This is what we meant by SSMS. You can see this here, Microsoft SQL Server Management Suite. Using this, we are going to write our queries. Yes, again, I'm saying, please don't hesitate to ask questions if you have any.
Kiran, where is the IDE here? Integrated Development Environment.
So this is the IDE. What you see on my screen, this is the IDE.
Okay. Okay.
So basically, we use this interface to write our queries, sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, what are we searching in this?
Sir, we are trying to see what kind of information we have in employee table. See, this is the data what we have in employee table. So we got this information here. For example, let's say somebody asked you to extract male employees data. Only male. Yeah. And we write a query like this: select all from employee, where can I see the gender here? So this is the gender what we have. The header is gender. I say gender equal to, we say M. Now, if I execute this query, so basically this will give me only male employees. Totally, we have 19 rows. Out of 19 rows, how many male employees we have?
10.
10. You can see the count here.
Yes.
So because we extracted only male employees. So remaining 9 employees are female employees.
Sir, why are we using asterisk here?
Are you talking about this one, sir? Single quote?
No, after
Asterisk.
selecting.
Yeah, this we will discuss, sir. But just to explain the context. So here, are we extracting any specific column or are we extracting all the columns?
All the columns.
All the columns. When you say asterisk, this is nothing but you are extracting data from all these columns. So by keeping this asterisk, we are saying that in employee table, we have so many columns, extract all the columns. That's what we are saying.
If not, we have to select particularly something like e-name or job like that.
Absolutely. Can you see? I say employee ID, comma, e-name, comma, job. Now, am I giving all the columns? No, I am going with 3 columns here. Now, if I execute this query, this will give me the data of only these 3 columns. That too for male employees because we kept a filter here.
But there is nothing showing like gender over there.
Yeah, because did we select gender column?
Okay.
We didn't select, right? Now, then what do? You come here and you just add gender. Then if you execute this, it will display the gender also. So based on your requirement, whatever the columns you want to select, you select them and you work with them. Yep. Any other questions? No? Are we clear? Yes, sir. Yeah. In Excel, you use double quote. And even in Power BI, you use double quote. But when it comes to SQL, we use single quote. Yeah. For example, let's come here. If I want to type any text, for example, let's say equal to Excel. Can I type like this? No, it is row error. Can you see this? But to make it specific, we keep it in double quote, then we type it. Then it will print Excel here. What you asked is valid question that we keep double quote here. Yeah, it is Excel, but when it comes to SQL, instead of double quote, we keep single quote.
Sir, what will happen if we use double quotes?
Let's try that, sir. Can you see this? It is not able to read it. Because as per its property or characteristics, you have to go with single quote only. That is the structure of SQL. You shouldn't use double quote here. Because it can't understand what is the meaning of the double quote. So that's the reason it is throwing error. But now, if I execute this, this will give me the data.
Sir, one more small doubt that
Yeah,
every
please.
time editing, we have to select complete sentence.
Yeah, we need to select the entire query, sir.
Okay, and okay.
Yeah, that I'll explain tomorrow. Yeah, don't worry about that. So tomorrow I'll explain that part also. Why am I selecting this? And if you want to get the output, what should we do? And what are the different options we have? We will discuss all those things too. Yep. Any other questions? Okay. Then I have a request. Everyone, please go through the course content. Yeah, what are we going to learn? Please prepare a list. And please make a cross check whenever we are discussing a topic. Are we covering the entire course content or not? If you feel like I'm missing a topic, you can always raise your hand. saying like didn't discuss this. So if there is any miss, definitely I'll come back. Okay. So, but before that, everyone really make sure that you have gone through the course content, because you must know what you guys are going to learn. Yeah. Our front office team will share, or if you want me to share, I'll put it in the group. So this is the course content what we have. As part of this course, what we are going to do is we are going to understand the difference between DBMS and RDBMS and what exactly a database and what do we mean by server. Then we will come to T-SQL and we will start the query language from. As part of the query language, we will understand what are the different data types we have and what are the constraints we have. And what do we mean by DQL? Because you guys might have heard DDL, DML, DQL, DCL, TCL. We will understand all these words. Then we will move on. We have some built-in functions, same like Excel. In Excel, we have so many functions, right? The same way, even here, we have some functions. We will learn them. Then slowly we will move here. We will understand what is table and what do we mean by constraints and what are joins, set operators, subqueries, views, and secure. And finally, we'll close with transaction. Are we good? So this is the course plan, what we have. Yeah, I'll make it very clear that we are going to discuss the topics which are related to data analysis. Yeah, as a data analyst, we'll be concentrating more on DQL, data query language. We will not concentrate on DDL or DML or, for that matter, DCL. We will understand what is this, and TCL also we will understand, but we will not spare much time. The focus will be always on DQL. Because any data analyst, we will not be involved into database administration activities. That's the reason we will not get into DDL and DML. In this course, the main focus will be on DQL. Yeah. That's it, guys. Any further questions we can discuss? Else we'll stop it here for today. I'll share both documents in the WhatsApp group. Please complete the installation process and get your laptop. We need the hands-on, guys. Please bring your laptops. If you don't have laptop, please arrange it from someone or make sure you have a system, desktop. But if you don't practice, don't attend the sessions. I'll make it very clear. Sorry if I'm sounding rude, but if you don't practice, don't attend sessions. Don't waste your time.
Hello.
Yeah, somebody saying something.
Work on iOS.
So T-SQL, no, you have to use virtual machine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
you're welcome. That's it. Any other questions, guys? No? Then I'll stop it here for today. Thank you. We'll catch up tomorrow by 9:30. 9:30 only, guys. Yeah. Thank you.
Can we get the recordings?
Yes, sir. Please, you will receive the recording.
Okay, sir.